title is not clickbait. I'm actually going to do a tier list of every oats overnight flavor that I've tried up until this point. And I figured to do a little bit of a food tier list because why freaking not? Been popping off on these tier lists as late with music, so why not do it with some food? And to give a little bit of background to why I'm doing this too, I've been under the Oats overnight subscription now for the past 3, 4 months roughly. So this honestly took a really long time to actually put together because I had to try every flavor first and foremost. And second of all, the other reason being that this was an alternative to having to have a better meal, stay healthy, and just to save money more or less. And I decided that would it be crazy for me to try every single flavor? And I figured, why freaking not? So, for the past 4 months, I decided to try every single flavor out of the wazoo, and I can now comfortably, hopefully, make a tier list to rank out the best and the worst for anyone who wants to try Oats Overnight. And also, big disclaimer: this is not a sponsored video. I'm not sponsored by Oats Overnight. To be clear, I'm literally just doing this for fun. And finally, compared to the other tier lists I've done as of late, I actually had to go to tiermaker.com to make this tier list possible because when I try to do it myself, getting the pictures for each individual Oats Overnight flavor is absolutely freaking hard. So bear with me if you are able to see this, but I'll do my best to try to zoom into the tier list, and explain things and go from there. So without further ado, let's get into the tier list. Okay, and here we go. Gonna be tier listing every flavor that Tier Maker has to offer. Again, this may not be every flavor to be clear because there's more new flavors coming out as of me even making this video, but let's ride. So, first and foremost, let's start off with what we have here, Space Brownie. Space Brownie, and I guess I'm gonna go ahead and just throw this bitch out here, Dark Chocolate Sea Salt. Both of these flavors is like my epitome of chocolate oatmeal. And look, if you like chocolate oatmeal, that's for your opinion at the end of the day. For me, this is just too much chocolate. For me, the taste for it was just too much. It's so bland, and overall, I just couldn't see myself like really gravitating towards this in general. So with that being said, I'm just gonna kind of cut to the bullshit and just say that Space Brownie, easy D tier, dark chocolate sea salt. This one smells a lot worse. This is an E tier. And then next, we're gonna go on to fruity cereal. Fruity cereal, I think this is definitely their best flavor out there. This is definitely like the gold stamp of approval of like a must try oats overnight flavor. And I think there's not much more I could say about it that hasn't been said already. Fruity cereal, easy S tier. Next, mint chocolate chip cookie. This bad boy, this one was definitely a weird flavor because the texture wise, but it definitely went as advertised, honestly, and I think that's respectable in its own right. Mint chocolate chip cookie just tastes like what would happen if you just take chocolate chip ice cream and you just make it into an oatmeal. It's not bad, but still not something I would always go back for. I give this bad boy like a B tier. Green apple cinnamon, classic oatmeal staple that you see all around. Unfortunately, oats overnight for me just didn't really do a lot of pizzazz on this one. So this one honestly is like C tier. It's like the safest neutral flavor you could get from this company, and you literally can see this anywhere else in the supermarket. It just tastes like what you expect when you buy this thing, and I'll leave it at that. Next, Mocha Dream. Now, this one is an interesting one because this one actually has caffeine, and you'll see later on, like with peppermint mocha, this has caffeine in it as well. So, Mocha Dream, surprisingly, despite the fact that I did not like Space Brownie, I did not like Dark Chocolate Sea Salt, this one was actually pretty tolerable. It just tasted like coffee, and honestly, if you're a pretty big coffee enthusiast, then Mocha Dream can honestly be for you. So realistically, this is like a solid B tier. I wouldn't put this above an A or an S, but this is like pretty tolerable if you want to have something to eat for breakfast and if you want something to keep you awake. All right, next we have cinnamon roll. I'm gonna be honest with you and just say this: cinnamon roll flavor. This thing was terrible. I did not like it, and you would think that again. To be clear, I'm a cinnamon guy. I love everything that's cinnamon based, but in the case of this felt like I was eating like paste. like every time I was eating it. And maybe you could chalk it up that I wasn't making it properly at the time, but I've tried every variation where I put a lot of milk, little to no milk, you name it, you guessed it, and it just didn't taste good. This became one of my least favorite flavors from the lineup, and unfortunately, I just didn't like it at the end. This one, give or take, it's fine. It's horrible. I give it like a D tier though, surprisingly, because at least there's just a bit again better flavors out there that I would rather tolerate and sit through. All right, next coconut cream pie. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and just bunch this up and French toast up right off the bat. Coconut cream pie, absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm a huge coconut guy. I love coconut. I grew up drinking and eating coconut here in Hawaii, so the fact that they did this flavor justice is pretty good. I give this bad boy a solid A tier. It wouldn't be an S, unfortunately, because there were moments where it felt like the texture was a little bit off putting and weird, but they did get the coconut flavor right. And while we're at it, French toast. This to me is like, boom, stamp of approval of like a good breakfast meal. It's subtle, it is sweet. It basically just tastes like cinnamon roll, but if cinnamon roll was a lot more balanced, and this is leagues better than cinnamon roll, I'll say that much. Easy S tier. French toast is a 100% S tier flavor if I've come across one. Whew, all right, and then iced lemon loaf. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you, sports fans. For anyone that's an iced lemon loaf fan, I've never tried iced lemon loaf in my life. So trying it in the oatmeal setting, my expectations were exponentially low, honestly, and it was pretty bad. This thing sucked. This is by far the worst flavor of every flavor I've tried in this lineup as of right now. It's not even close. Easy F tier. Iced lemon loaf is probably, without a doubt, the worst thing you could ever taste. Just think of it this way: you're eating lemons and oatmeal together. That is like a combination of a disaster waiting to happen. And they concoct this thing and it tastes gross. It is absolutely terrible. All right, but moving on, carrot cake. This one was definitely one that I was hoping would taste good. Unfortunately, it didn't really live up to my expectations. It wasn't as weird as the mint chocolate chip cookie, if you ask me, and it wasn't like blowing me away. It just felt like an average oatmeal at the end of the day. So I will give credit where credit's due that the carrot cake was also pretty decent, but for me, this just wasn't like pushing the boundary of like what made it good. And again, I like carrot cake. This to me just felt like a watered down version of what I would eat the real thing with. So, C tier for carrot cake. Next, we have mango custard. Mango custard. This one was surprisingly really good. This thing was incredible. I think this was like one of the best fruit flavors you can get if you are a huge mango guy. Um, Without doubt, I think this is definitely really good. And also, while we're at it, we also should address matcha mango at the same time. Between both of these, I think mango custard squeaks out matcha mango, and the reason being is that for matcha mango, this one worked out pretty well, but it felt a little like the matcha was overtaking the mango flavor in a sense. So because of that, also, this also has caffeine, by the way. So if you're basically the type of person that doesn't want to drink caffeine with your matcha mango, then it makes sense why. But without a doubt, mango custard, easy S tier. One of the best fruit flavors you can ever try. And as for matcha mango, this one, unironically, because I love both matcha and mango respectfully, this one works out pretty well. I give this bad boy like a solid A tier. Really good flavor nonetheless. And then to close off, probably, hopefully, the last caffeine flavor oatmeal, we have peppermint mocha. So, like I said, this is for anyone that loves mocha, that loves peppermint. This may not be suited for you, unfortunately, but this one's pretty good. I think this is like a different switch up from the mocha dream. Like if you don't like a lot of chocolate in your mocha, then peppermint mocha kind of gives you that little sweetness to balance it out. Peppermint mocha, solid B tier. I think it's really good. Really good additions to like the coffee flavors, honestly. All right, next we have strawberry rhubarb, and while we're at it, we'll even get out of the way strawberries and cream. Strawberry rhubarb, this one was without a doubt one of the weirder concoctions out there, and I'm not gonna lie when I say this. I've honestly think that this flavor was just not up to par, because when you compare it to strawberries and cream, which is its comparator, this is night and day difference. This thing is absolutely great. It just tastes like strawberry milkshake at its finest. This is really good. This bad boy is easily an S tier. Strawberry rhubarb just feels like a super watered out version of strawberries and cream, and it just doesn't live up to it. But would I take this over other flavors that's out there? I guess if strawberries and cream didn't exist, I would say strawberry rhubarb would probably be like a C tier. It's like in the middle of the below average. It's just missing what made strawberries and cream special to not put it at the same ranking as that. But yeah, moving on though, strawberry banana. Also to wrap up the strawberry lineup, I'm not gonna lie, I think this is easily a C tier. The reason being is that this concoction sounds good on paper, but when you actually try it yourself, it just the texture and the flavors feel super off. That where majority of the time you're just tasting the banana flavor over the strawberry flavor. It's fine, it's passable, but I would rather have this over these two, unfortunately, and I'll leave it at that. All right, and then with pumpkin spice latte, this is the big bad boy that's been taking over and it's gonna take over in the fall season pretty soon. Pumpkin spice latte for oats overnight flavor. I'm not gonna lie, this actually lived up to what it's supposed to be. I would really put this in the solid A tier. And like I said, I'm not a huge pumpkin spice enthusiast. I'm not a Starbucks fuckboy or some shit. But pumpkin spice latte is remarkably good for oats overnight flavor, and that shook me the most. And while we're at it, we'll get out of the way all the Christmas flavors with eggnog and gingerbread and snickerdoodle. So first and foremost, let's go with eggnog. Um, so I think already with everyone saying looking at eggnog here, they're probably gonna say, okay, this is probably the worst flavor. This flavor is incredible. I absolutely like it. This is actually one of the flavors that got me hooked on oats overnight in the first place. And look, call me crazy if you think that putting eggnog this high up is crazy, but eggnog is an S tier, man. It's really good. You might think I'm fucking delusional on this, but eggnog just honestly tastes like what would happen if French toast and fruit cereal have a baby and it gave birth to eggnog. That's the best way I can describe it. It tastes so good, and somehow it doesn't get tiring every time I keep eating it. Like, it's so ridiculously good that I think a lot of people just sleep on this flavor, man. Like, at the end of the day, if you don't like eggnog, it is what it is, but oats overnight crushed it with this flavor. And then going to gingerbread and snickerdoodle. Both of these flavors are once again kind of falling to that cinnamon roll French toast esque flavor. But honestly, gingerbread squeaks out for me as like a C tier, because at least this is more tolerable to eat cinnamon wise than cinnamon roll. And snickerdoodle just feels like a downgraded version of French toast, and that's about it. Like, it's comparable, it's fine, but it's not like getting me to be like, oh yeah, I want to eat this again. But it's fine. I give this one also a C tier. All right, next we have orange cream pop. This one, I'm gonna be honest with you. This one is without a doubt one of the weirder flavors I tried. I remember trying it a few times and it tasted terrible. This thing was awful. Between this and the ice lemon loaf, I think there you could probably do worse. Honestly, somehow, though, in a weird way, I would actually put orange cream pop in the E tier. The reason being that it is at least tolerable to sit through, albeit I would never go back to this flavor ever again because the texture, the flavor just didn't make sense at all. So, yeah, easy E tier. All right, next we got PB and J. PB and J, I would literally just throw this bad boy easily in the A tier. The reason being is that peanut butter and jelly oats overnight at paper sounds gross and it doesn't look like it's gonna work, but this thing tastes incredible. It tastes like a really like you just ate like a mushed up peanut butter and jelly, and it tastes really good. I don't know what it is, but I actually like this flavor a lot to the point where I'm actually like close to putting it borderline S tier. But knowing that this is a flavor that I can only handle after a certain while, this is why I would put it in A tier. All right, peach upside down cake and pumpkin pie. So I guess I could kind of cut through the bullshit. Pumpkin pie, easy A tier because of pumpkin spice latte. peach upside down cake, I would probably put this bad boy in the B tier. It's fine, but unfortunately, just didn't live up to the hype that I was hoping for. It just feels like middle of the road, like decent and above the average stuff. White chocolate raspberry. This one was surprisingly not too bad. Wouldn't put this in the S tier, unfortunately, just because it was missing a little bit of something to make it special. This bad boy, easy A tier though. It's really, really good. Pretty underrated flavor in my books. All right, pear and apple crumble. This one, this just tastes like another version of green apple sandwich, but just super watered down. I would just put this in the C tier. Leave it at that. All right. Let's see. We have blueberry cobbler and mixed berries and cream. All right. So blueberry cobbler, I would probably put this bad boy in the B tier. It's remarkably pretty good, and I like blueberries, so this actually surprised me. PB cookie dough cacao or peanut butter cookie dough cacao would easily be a B tier. Might be an A tier if I give it a few more tries. All right, but then we're back to the chocolate part. So, oh boy, here we go. Chocolate salmon pie. This bad boy was also atrocious. I think out of all the chocolate flavors, it's probably the worst one. I'm sorry. Easily, somehow easily an E tier. I wouldn't put it at F because at least it is still tolerable than the ice lemon loaf. Chocolate chip cookie dough. This thing is easy D tier. It just tastes like cinnamon roll, but if it's just super watered down. Next, we have vanilla. This one, honestly, pretty neutral in the pack. Like if you were introduced to this first before every other flavor, I think this is like a pretty good neutral oatmeal. Vanilla, solid C tier. I can't really put this anywhere above it. Mixed berries and cream. This one, while it's not as great as strawberries and cream in its own right, I think this is still a pretty solid flavor all around. Mixed berries and cream, though, I give it a solid B tier. This one was shockingly pretty good as well. All right, next we have banana bread. Not gonna lie, banana bread tasted really off, and I'm a banana bread enthusiast. This bad boy, I'm gonna have to throw banana bread D tier. And like I said, you might be kind of saying that, what the fuck, man? Like, how do you not like banana bread flavor? Well, there's a reason because we have banana Foster. And this one here, it tastes remarkably 20 times better than banana bread. Like, it takes everything that was wrong about banana bread and it just elevates it to a whole new level. So, banana Foster, 100% S tier. Like, this is the banana flavor I would 100% go for. And easily also surpasses strawberry banana from a while ago. Next, tiramisu. This one has caffeine in it, and unfortunately, this one disappointed me because I'm a huge tiramisu fan. So, because of that, I mean, it's still pretty tolerable, but this one is just one I would never go back to, unfortunately. This one's an easy D tier. And then while we're at it, since I already talked about blueberry cobbler earlier, glazed blueberry donut is also a B tier just because they're basically the same. Nothing new, nothing change happened with them. That's really about it. All right, next, salted toffee. I do not know who in their right mind made this flavor. This is without a doubt another shitty flavor that made no sense. Easy F tier. This thing, between this and salted toffee, I'd rather eat this over this. This thing is still remarkably terrible. And while we're at it, to get this one out of the way, pina colada. This one undoubtedly became one of the weirdest flavors I've tried in the lineup. Like, I thought orange cream pop and ice lemon loaf was bad, but pina colada takes the cake as like the weirdest, worst flavor ever. I'd rather just drink a pina colada itself than eat an oatmeal's version of this. This is undoubtedly an F tier. This is like the most confusing flavor that I don't understand why it was made in the first place. Next, we have caramel apple, and honestly, caramel apple is incredible. This is without doubt one of the best apple flavors ever. It takes green apple cinnamon, parent apple crumble, and it elevates it to how it's supposed to taste. And this is incredible. This bad boy is an easy S tier. All right, cookies and cream. First, for the fact that I'm a huge cookies and cream enthusiast, I love it. I think this one was just like in the average in the running. It just didn't really elevate it for me, and it wasn't really popping for me, unfortunately. So with that, I think this is a solid C tier. All right, and we're almost done. But chocolate peanut butter, this one surprising was horrible than a lot of the other chocolates out there. I would also once again put in the C tier just because there's just not a whole lot to say about my opinions about chocolate up until this point. Anyway, I'll get rid of all the chocolate flavors where we're at too. Boston cream pie, easy E tier. Definitely one of the worst chocolate flavors out there. Once again, with dark chocolate sea salt and chocolate sand pie, this was terrible. Caramel cold brew, I will say, really good coffee flavor. One of the last coffee flavors in here that I forgot to tear out. Caramel cold brew is a solid B tier. I think that if you really want, again, your good coffee choices are definitely here for sure. And finally, chocolate covered banana. Not gonna lie, chocolate covered banana, pretty underwhelming flavor to say the least. I'm gonna have to put this bad boy also in the D tier with banana bread. It just didn't elevate for me. All right, and then we went to the final four. So maple pancakes, I give this bad boy a solid S tier. Really good, just tastes like French toast, but a lot more better. Birthday cake, this one I give a solid C tier. Actually, or yeah, I give it a solid C tier. This one became the most shocking. What the hell did I just eat moments I've ever ate? Unfortunately, and it's just below average. Next, we have cookie butter. This one, I give it a solid D tier. It didn't really push it for me. And then finally, to wrap up this Oats Overnight tier list, I would probably put s'mores flavor in the D row. This one was surprising too, especially considering that I love both of these flavors, but for some reason, both of these flavors just didn't elevate for me. And yeah, that is basically it. This is essentially my tier list of every Oats Overnight flavor I have tried up until this point. And yeah, this is a pretty lengthy one, so let me know what your favorite oats overnight flavor is or your least favorite one is if you have tried this or gave it a shot in the first place. And yeah, I just want to talk about this because why freaking not? So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Later.